Hi, Kurt. Thanks a lot for your time. Let me first introduce you. Kurt Saber is the Chief Sales Officer, is co-founder too of Vengreso, and he's a very well-known expert in getting sales teams to adopt new sales tools and techniques. And I would say you are very well known too as the man that always looked great in a video meeting. Please, Kurt, could you introduce us a bit to Vengreso?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jose, and glad to be on this video with you. Yeah, so Vengreso is a digital sales training company, meaning that we focus on techniques using digital tools and methods, many of which have come about in the last 10 years of selling. Vengreso was formed 3 years ago by the merger of 4 different experts in the area of digital sales and content. And to be a little more specific, we focus on a couple of key areas, mostly to help with sales prospecting. It does help in other areas of the sales cycle, but it's mostly about getting that first conversation, that first meeting, that first web demo. And so we focus a lot on LinkedIn sales techniques, both for free LinkedIn and LinkedIn Sales Navigator, as well as how to use video in a sales prospecting method.
Mm-hmm. We live challenging times, that's clear. It's full of uncertainty everywhere. And Vengreso is in very close contact with thousands of the top sales leaders in the world. Which are the different ways they are approaching the situation?
Well, over the last couple of months, I guess that we've, really been in the most serious part of this health crisis. We see that most companies and sales leaders are really in one of 2 different mindsets. There's very little middle ground anymore. They're really in one of 2 mindsets. The first mindset, we sometimes call it's like the hunkered down mindset, meaning they're really they've just frozen everything. They might be having layoffs and furloughs, but they don't want to do anything. They're trying to conserve cash. They've really pulled back on their sales efforts, and everything is just kind of contracted and kind of waiting, almost hibernating, like the bear in winter. The other group of people, the other mindset is one where they're being very proactive. They realize many things are frozen. They realize that their customers might be in that mode, and they're really making an effort to be of value to the customer, to stay engaged with them, don't lose contact with them. One of the sales leaders I spoke with a couple of weeks ago said, we have to do something now. My salespeople are all at home. They're used to going to conferences, going on customer visits, and they feel paralyzed. They feel helpless now. And he said, we have to do something now that is proactive, that gets them engaged, right? That gets them in communication, even though they're stuck at home. And so those are sort of the 2 camps. It's either really do nothing or do something right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, we are the IT Sales Institute, are much closer to the proactive mindset. Mm-hmm. So I would like to know how, in your expert opinion, can LinkedIn in concrete, and obviously in a strong professional use of digital selling, how can help in thriving now and in the future too?
Yeah, there's a number of things I recommend that people be doing right now. Really, this is applicable to either mindset, to be honest. Right now, depending on one's customer base, depending on what one's customer base is doing, in any event, people can certainly be improving the professionalism of their LinkedIn profile, number 1. Right? They want to make sure that profile is a resource to customers and not a resume. So it should really speak to the customer. who do you help? How do you help them? What sorts of things have you done? Maybe you have a white paper, a video, or something like that on your profile, so that it's sort of acting like a little mini web page for you and the company. So there's a number of things you can do. Number one, in this maybe downtime, to make sure that your profile is very professional. Number two, probably the most important really, is to strengthen your LinkedIn network. One of the phenomena of many people being out of the office during these last few months is that people are actually spending more time on social media than they used to at the previously. They're spending more time on social media. So it's a great time to connect with those people on LinkedIn. Now, those connections might be brand new prospects, or they might be additional people in your current customers, but you just want to spread out your influence and make sure maybe your company just brought out a new product that gets sold to another group and you need to expand there. Or maybe you're trying to go up the organization and turn your sale from a technical sale maybe into a financial argument, and now you're targeting the CFO, for example. So whatever the reason, advice number two would be, right now, start to grow, strengthen your network amongst your customers and prospects. And then the third thing I would recommend is the content piece of social selling or digital selling, meaning that an individual seller should raise their own visibility and their own credibility by regularly sharing content. That content could come both from their company and industry news. It might be a report from Gartner or something from a CIO magazine or something like that. But the point is, you're trying to be that valuable resource to your audience. So, a few times a week, if your company does cloud security, you're going to share something on cloud security or disaster recovery or, DevOps or whatever your area of specialty is. Because as you do that, you think of the commercials on TV. I always use this example. Think of the commercials on TV. If you're watching a sporting event on TV and a car company commercial comes on TV, do you think that car company expects you're going to jump up off the couch, drive down to the car dealership and buy a car? No, they don't expect that. What they want to do is they want you to see that ad 20 times so that in 3 months, when you're ready for a car, you're going to check out that place before you buy. And so it's really the same idea with an individual salesperson sharing that content. You want to be known for your area of expert.
It's very interesting you point out this because we published a couple of days ago a small video capsule about the second recommendation. So I will link it to this later. Next question would be selling with digital tools. As video conferencing it was already a growing reality before now, but it looks like it is experiencing a boom and probably will keep scaling after this situation clears up. So I'm very interested about, Vengreso has launched a program called Selling with Video, right in the moment. And Vengreso is a company that clearly is full of expertise in this matter. I would like you to tell us a bit about the advantages of using video as a sales environment.
Well, I'm gonna go way back in sales and just use one of the most common pieces of sales advice that people say. When somebody's going through a buying decision, right? There's those stages that they have, and the saying is know, like, and trust. So a buyer has to first know about you. I mean, to buy you, whatever it is, they have to know about you. Right? And then they have to like you, and then ultimately they have to trust you before they're going to give their money to you for this purchase. So if you think about the know, like, and trust, when I started in IT sales 30 years ago, I was driving around visiting my customers. I was meeting them in the lobby. I was having lunch with them. I was looking them in the eye. It's, it's easy in a human connection to kind of build trust like that over time because of the human connection. Obviously, over the last 30 years, there's been a huge shift from field people to more and more inside salespeople that have a telephone and an email. And now, because of the isolation that everybody has been forced into, like you said, it's only going to accelerate that move really into inside salespeople. The inside salespeople might not even be in a call center anymore; they might be in their bedroom. But so if you think of that scenario with so many people just working behind the desk, and they're trying to build a rapport, all they have is their voice over the telephone and that text message on an email, which is that's not a great way to build human connection, right? I mean, you and I, we're on a video conference here, but we can see each other's expressions. If I say something, Jose, I know if you go, like that, or like, yeah, and you don't like it, yeah? So, that's where the element of video is really so important. So I think that there's that piece of it, that from the viewer's eye, it helps them kind of get a feel for a person. And also, it's still novel. It's still new to people. It's still sort of, grabs their attention in their inbox, and they might have 100 emails, and one of them says, "Hey, I made this video for you." Well, that's intriguing. And so the open rates on emails that have a video in it is 3 times what the open rate is for all text emails. So those are some of the real values of video.
We all understand that the key to succeed in selling, it's more and more to have the capacity to convert the prospects into what you called a while ago, empowered sales conversations. Which are the keys that Vengreso's PVC's methodology is teaching to sales professionals?
Yeah, so we have a philosophy we call the PVC. P stands for personalize, V stands for value, and the C stands for call to action. So let me give you an example of those 3. And this would typically be, this is really geared toward prospecting outreach. So an example of that would be, what's a P? What's personalization? Well, you can get personalization. You can learn about what to use in personalization a number of ways. Again, LinkedIn is a great way to do it. There's a couple ways you can do it. One is you could simply go to their static LinkedIn profile, and you might learn something right there. Hey, Jose, I noticed you used to work at HP. Or, hey, Jose, I see you went to this university, right? So did my CFO. Hey, Jose, I see you support this organization. That's a fantastic group. I've always admired their work. So one way to get personal is just by doing the research on their LinkedIn profile. The related way is you can go look at their activity, and if they've liked on anything or commented on anything or posted anything, again, it's a very easy, it's a natural, it's an authentic way to say, that my initial outreach for you for personalization could say, hi, Jose, I'm reaching out to connect with you because I read your blog about modern sales practices for IT sales professionals. Okay. It's both genuine. It is absolutely genuine. The person read your blog, and it's also kind of flattering to you. So that's an example. Those are examples of personalization. Then the value part, again, is to bring some content, some knowledge, some insight to them that they may not have. It might be simply to say, we've been talking to chief information security officers over the last 6 months, and they told us this. That might be of interest if you're addressing a chief information security officer. Or you might say, hey, we just put out this new white paper about this, or Gartner just ranked us in the top quadrant, thought you might be interested to see this. So anything that you're going to bring, it might be just a sentence, or it might be an attachment of a white paper, a case study, a Gartner report, something like that. And then the call to action usually is something around getting a meeting if you're on prospecting, right? So the whole thing might be, hey, Jose, I saw your post about changes in the IT sales industry. I thought you might be interested in this report that Gartner recently had about how our technology, fits into this world. If this is of interest to you, let's set up a call. How about next Tuesday morning or Thursday afternoon?
Great. And to finish, could you give us some advice on how to profit from this extra time that I would say many of us, most of us are having right now, in order to improve our success when this is over?
Yeah, I mean, we look at it really as an opportunity. When we're both in the sales training business, really, and oftentimes when we talk to a sales leader about sales training, they really love the idea, but the number one objection a lot of times is, oh, my salespeople just don't have time. They're running around to all these clients and conferences, and I'd love to do your training, but they don't have time. Well, that objection is gone away now. I mean, many of them do have time. So this is really the perfect time to learn. And so all of the training that we do is 100% virtual, so that's easily delivered. And we think this is the great time to learn. We think the companies that do that now, that make that investment of time and money, they make that investment to learn right now, it's really going to put them in a great competitive position when we kind of get back to whatever the new normal is going to be. We sort of look at this as like the preseason training before the sports season actually begins. Mm-hmm. So things are sort of being done behind closed doors and you don't really know. But the teams right now that are getting in shape and that are practicing their plays and they're getting the championship mindset, those are the ones that are going to come into the season very, very strong. And so we have training. We also have some very specific goals that for people to achieve in these short periods of time that kind of keeps them motivated. And that's how we're really recommending that people make the best out of the situation that we're in right now.
Mm-hmm. Very good advice. Thanks for your time, Kurt, and for all these interesting hints and advice. And well, we keep in contact.
All right, great, Jose. Thanks so much. We're looking forward to working with you guys at the IT Sales Institute.
Thanks to you.